Hello, my lovelies. How's it going? Welcome to January wrap up and February plans. If you are new here, my name is Jamie and I am the Kansan Reader. Going over January, we're going to start first with my Bible writing. This is the Bible that I'm using to write out. It is the Study Bible for Women by Holm. It is the Christian Standard Version, which it's not my favorite version, but I did want to use this Bible this year. I am on chapter 27. I'm not making anything really pretty. I did make like the title kind of pretty, but other than that, I'm just simply writing it out. Now, I will have a couple more chapters in at the official end of January. It's only the 29th, but I know I'm not going to finish another fiction book, so I'm just going to go ahead and get this done and over with. Now, the nonfiction I read is a rollover from last month that I did not get to finish because I had a baby and I did not focus on any reading really in December. So the nonfiction is called Unwrapping the Names of Jesus by, I don't know how to say her name, but here's the cover. If you are looking for a devotional to do during Advent time with your entire, your immediate family, this is kind of a perfect one. This last month I finished 3 fiction books and DNF'd 2 fiction books. So the first book that I read is Stars May Burn by Alice Avinia. I rated this a 3.75 stars, but now I'm starting to think back on it that I might lower my rating to just a 3-star. Alright. Stars May Burn, I read both this and the second book, which this is just a duology. I read them both on Kindle Unlimited. And some stars shine, others cause the world to burn. With Lady Sophie's husband still warm in the grave and her reputation stained from being unable to produce an heir, the last thing she expects is her father to arrange a rushed wedding. The groom is none other than General Caston, the illegitimate son of the king, the same man who is feared and hated by the entire realm. Still, she has been trained to be the dutiful wife and accepts her role without complaint. Yet how can she hope to be the spouse she is expected to be when the general is frequently absent and seems to be hiding dark secrets that cause her curiosity to burn? Caston's luck is running out. With the king and his court eager to see him dead, he knows he must marry or risk his lands falling into the wrong hands. His plan seems a simple one. Marry the woman he has always secretly admired, but kept his distance to avoid forming an attachment. After all, he will likely be dead within the year. No need to cause her unnecessary anguish. It doesn't take long for Caston to realize he's misjudged the beautiful widow. Sophie misses nothing and is learning dangerous truths that could get them both killed. Caston has always been willing to lay down his life in the name of peace, but he will not allow them to harm her. To keep his bride safe, he would burn the kingdom to the ground. A heart-pounding, dark fantasy world with clean, slow-burn romance, perfect for fans of The Starlit Prince, Mistborn, Defy the Night, and Alchemy of Souls. There is a magic system in here, but it is like Mistborn. Because I at least know Mistborn, but it's alchemy based. It's not like magic and spells, but there is alchemy. They deal with metals. They don't drink the metals like they do in Mistborn. I will say the magic, the whole alchemy system kind of went over my head. The author uses Sophie as a way to explain to the reader the alchemy system because Sophie's kind of supposed to be ignorant about the whole thing. I wasn't the biggest fan of Sophie. I absolutely loved Caston. Caston was such a green flag man. But Sophie, it seemed when you would finally get some character growth, she would kind of go backwards. And I'm going to explain this for both the first and the second book, but she kind of seemed like to, especially more in the second book, to be stuck on one specific issue, and you never really get it resolved all the way. And the ending of the second book and of the duology kind of confused me, and I wasn't quite satisfied with the ending. I just felt like there was more that could have been done. The second book, Stars May Fall, I rated 3 stars. I didn't like it as much as the first book. I was really frustrated with Sophie, and it seemed like whenever you read her point of view, it was almost like,
I don't know how to explain it, but it's the same issue on repeat over and over and over again.
And I just wish there was a little bit more growth from her in that aspect. Also, I would say with the second book, the first half of the book, I was really into it. But then once I got into the second half of the book, I really started lagging. I was starting to not care about the story. But I did finish both of them. Like I said, a 3-star for the second book. The first book, I really do think I'm going to move my ranking down to 3-star, because it took me having to go back and look at all my notes to even remember what happened in the book, because when I first sat down, I was like, oh yeah, Stars May Burn, and I could not think of what the book was about. The third book that I finished in the month of January is Collateral Damage by Lynette Eason. This is the first book that I read by Lynette Eason, and I really do like her writing. I don't have the book with me anymore. I did get this from my library. I do have it up on my Kindle so I can read you guys the synopsis. Honorably discharged from the Army after an explosion nearly killed her, former military psychiatrist Brooke Adams has set up shop to help others. But her days of helping military personnel are over. She's got her own battles to fight from her time overseas, and she's not equipped to take on more. Former Army Special Ops Sergeant First Class Asher James could handle anything that war sent his way. Terrorists, bombs, bullets. The only thing that scares him now is sleep. As the shadows close in, the nightmare begins. Finally convinced that he needs help, Asher makes an appointment with a counselor, and Brooke is pressed by her boss to take him on. When he arrives at her office, she isn't there, but a dead body is. Brooke is devastated when she walks in, and Asher is a conveniently strong shoulder to cry on, but she can't take him on as a client after sharing such an intimate and unprofessional moment, can't she? And he's not sure he can handle sharing his deepest fears with such a beautiful woman. When it becomes clear that Brooke was the real target of the attack and that her secrets go even deeper than his own, Asher vows to protect her no matter what. This is the first book in the series Danger Never Sleeps. I really liked it. I rated it 3.5 stars. If you want any further thoughts, I do have a review video out on this. I will link it down below. Now, the DNFs, I will mention. The first one is called Subversive by Renee Rode. I'm not sure how exactly to pronounce her name, but I will put the cover here. I don't like a cheating trope, and this has that in it. I can't even remember her name. That's horrible. But the main girl, she is hiding because Christianity is illegal, and she is with a guy named Gavin, and she's constantly thinking back to her first love which his name is Taylor. And she's, like I said, she's constantly thinking about him. And for me, I didn't like that. It gave me an ick feeling because I'm like, you got a boyfriend, but yet you're thinking of this guy. And then when she does run into Taylor, like within a few hours, she kisses him. I want to say, I can't remember quite frankly, but she does kiss him, but she's still with Gavin. And so from there, it kind of gave me the ick. I made it to 44%, but the whole cheating thing was sitting on me, and I just couldn't focus on the story, so I just ended up DNFing it from there. The second book that I DNF'd, this one's a soft DNF. This is Sin and Scales by Michelle Emily. I don't know how to say her last name, but here's the cover here. I just don't think I'm in the right headspace for this, though it does have good allegory. It's very faith-based allegory. It does mention Christ Jesus by his name. Alright, going in, I do have 2 books that I will be bringing over into February with me. The first one is on my Kindle. It's called Dragon Thief by Blake and Raven Penn. It's 1 in 4 books. The series is called the Skystone Chronicles. Okay.
I was trying to be quiet.
Oh. Thrilling action, mind-bending heist, magical mayhem. The land of Evgard is filled with wild dragons desperate to devour magic. That's why the mage hunters ensure that there are never too many magi in one place and scar those born with power with an icy silver mark. Far to the west, in the frontier badlands of Drakefall, lives Asher of Steel Rim. The 17-year-old unregistered magi has become a thief, hoping to save enough marks to move his family somewhere safe. But when a dangerous group of magi rebels pass through, they offer the young dragon rider a chance to join their crew on a risky mission to steal a rare dragon egg. A mission that would give Asher a shot at something he wants even more than his own family's safety. Revenge on the Black Valkyrie, the head of the Mage Hunters. Asher's position on the team is simple. He's the distraction, but his fate is not yet written in the stars. Dragon Thief is a new Dragon Rider epic that brings together dragon bonds like Aragon, hard magic like Brandon Sanderson, and the ideal balance of drama and fun found in Avatar: The Last Airbender. I absolutely love Avatar: The Last Airbender. I do plan on getting to Aragon this year at some point. At least the first book. I don't think I'll be getting to the whole series this year. The magic does make me question a little bit on if I'm going to like this, but I am going to give it a try and see if it is just, as I say, fantasy magic and not magical realism, because I can deal with fantasy magic, just no magical realism. That is the book that I plan on bringing over into February. Nonfiction plans for February. I will be reading a book that I got when I first became a Christian around 2019, 2020, and that is Fierce Marriage, Radically Pursuing Each Other in Light of Christ's Relentless Love by Ryan and Selena Frederick. I picked this one because next month is me and hubby's anniversary month. I was hoping to try and find my book, The Power of a Praying Woman, but I can't find it. I don't know what I did with it. So I chose this one, and of course I'm going to make sure that while reading this, I'm going to be using my ESV Bible to cross-reference and make sure that they are staying biblical. I do have a set of library books that I plan on getting to. Bless you. The first one is the second book I'm rolling over into February, and that is A Moonbow Night by Laura France. I'm liking this one. I am 66 pages through. I am vlogging this as well, so you guys will get a separate video for this one. It will probably be my first official February video, maybe? Not sure yet. Uncertain times, she faces a choice that will change her life forever. After fleeing Virginia, Temperance Tucker and her family established an inn along the Shawnee River. It's a welcome way station for settlers and frontiersmen traveling through the wild Cumberland region of Kentucky. Men like Sion Morgan, a Virginia surveyor who arrives at the inn with his crew looking for an experienced guide. Though he balks when Tempe is appointed to lead his team through the wilderness, it isn't long before Sion must admit that her abilities may outmatch his own. But can the tenuous tie they are forming survive the dangers waiting just around the bend? This will also knock off Kentucky on my 50 states challenge. The book I got at the library is Harp on the Willow by B.J. Hoff. I have not read anything by B.J. Hoff, but look at how pretty that cover is. Love is patient and kind, 1 Corinthians 13:4. West Virginia, 1869. 3 years ago, Dr. Daniel Kavanaugh settled down in the quaint town of Mount Laurel and established a medical practice there. The single doctor has been nursing an unrequited crush on Serena Norman, the local school teacher. Just down the road lies the coal mining town of Owen Duffy, considered by most in Mount Laurel to be the backwoods hamlet. When the mine company's doctor abandons his post, Daniel agrees to visit 1 day a week, much to the my mind blanked on how to say this word. Consternation? Consternation? Consternation of his fellow residents, including his secret love, Serena. Addie Rose, the daughter of an Owen Duffy coal miner, has a gift for caring for others. When a receptionist position in Daniel's office suddenly becomes available, what windows of opportunity will God open for Addie Rose? Just a job, a possible career as a nurse, or maybe something more? Harp on the Willow is a touching tale of true love, the kind that can only come from a Savior who first loved us. So, yeah. I'm really excited. I don't think I've read a lot of books that are set around a coal mining town. And of course, West Virginia will get knocked off. But this will be interesting to especially read because it's 1869, which is not very long after the Civil War. It might be, 5 years? So it'll be interesting to see kind of like the setting and how that will play out. The next book that I got is Lynette Eason's Acceptable Risk. This is the second book in Danger Never Sleeps. Had to go and get this book. My library does have all 4 books, so I will slowly be ticking those off. For one journalist, the story of a lifetime is hitting too close to home. Sarah Denning is a military journalist with the Army in the Middle East when she is taken hostage. When former Army Ranger Gavin Black is asked by his old unit commander, Sarah's imposing father, to plan an extremely risky rescue, he reluctantly agrees and successfully executes it. Back in the U.S., Sarah is livid when she's discharged on a false psychiatric evaluation and vows to return to the Army, until she learns of her brother's suicide. Unable to believe her brother would do such a thing, she puts her plans on hold and enlists Gavin to help her discover the truth. What they uncover may be the biggest story of Sarah's career, if she can survive long enough to write it. That threw me off because you learn about her. Actually, her brother is kind of a big character in the first book. So, okay. That really threw me off. But you are introduced to Sarah and Gavin in the first book as well. They're not as big as Sarah's brother. I'm pretty excited to continue on with this next one. I'm really excited to read. It's called Roots of Wood and Stone by Amanda Wen. It is the first book in the Sedgwick County Chronicles. Sedgwick County is in Kansas, and I am close to it. I won't say how close I am to it, but I am close. And the author lives in Wichita, Kansas. So I'm pretty excited to read a book that is repping my home state. Abandoned at birth, her family roots a mystery. Historical museum curator Sloane Kelly has dedicated her life to making sure others know their own pasts. When a donor drops off an old but ordinary satchel, there's nothing to suggest the real treasure Sloane finds inside, a 19th century diary. Now she's on the hunt to find out more. Garrett Anderson just wanted to clean out his grandmother's historic but tumbled down farmhouse before selling it off. With her advancing Alzheimer's, he can't afford to be sentimental about the family home. But his carefully ordered plan runs up against two formidable obstacles. Sloane, who's fallen in love with both the diaries and the house, and his own heart irresistibly drawn to Sloane. A century and a half earlier, motherless Annabelle Collins embarks with her aunt and uncle on the adventure of a lifetime, settling the prairies of Sedgwick County, Kansas. The diaries she left behind paint a portrait of life, loss, and love, and a God who faithfully carried her through it all. Paging through the diaries together takes Sloane and Garrett on a journey they never could have planned, changing them in ways they never imagined. I am super excited to read this because, again, home state and somewhere that is close to where I am, so I know the area a little bit. I am just like excited because I rarely find books that are set in Kansas in general. The final library and physical book that I have for sure planned for February is Love Finds You in Sunset Beach, Hawaii. I really didn't think I was going to find a book to knock off Hawaii super early. Oh, and it's by Robin Jones Gunn. I have read Robin Jones Gunn before. I absolutely love her writing, and she always has well thought out relationships and friendships in her books. So I'm super excited to get into this. Also, it's cold, and this cover just makes me want to escape somewhere nice and toasty. After 4 years of ministry work in Brazil, Sierra Jensen needs a break. So when a friend invites her to an oceanfront beach house in Hawaii, Sierra envisions a quiet retreat where she can reflect on what's next for her life. Her plan is disrupted by her wild friend's antics, by the noisy surfing competitions on Sunset Beach, and by Jordan Bryce, her handsome new neighbor. Jordan is an up-and-coming photographer whose lens and attention are focused on the surfers, and he cannot afford any distractions, even one as lovely as Sierra. Sierra and Jordan come to Sunset Beach looking for different things, but as the surf pounds the north shore, will they discover something better than either of them have imagined? Super stoked, because this one's definitely more focused on a romance, which I've never read Robin Jones Gunn's romances before. The books that I have read before She has mostly focused on sisterhood and friendship between women. Well, I'm really excited to see what her romance is about. Thank you for joining me on my January wrap up and February plans. I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!